Alrighty, so we are live, guys.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
How's it going, guys?
All good here, all good with me.
Nice.
I'm great. Just figuring out my new keypad and where I put the mic mute button on it. So we'll see if I can keep that straight.
Nice. So let's do this. Today is it Wednesday, right? Yeah. Almost the end of the day, the week. That's nice. We got plenty, obviously. I had guys at home write us in the chat box for any stocks you want us to check, and also something that you are watching. And we'll start after this intro. Alrighty.
How are you doing?
How's it going, guys?
All good this morning, all good?
Yeah.
All good with me too.
Nice. So we got a special guest today.
Yeah.
Who we got?
Hello, guys. I'm VGC Trade. I've been in the Trade to Pool Discord for like a few weeks right now. Started off with the 20K account, and currently I'm busy with the 160K account. So I'll be
Nice.
attending today's live stream for the first time.
That's amazing.
Excellent. Welcome.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
We always love to see traders that within our community, and either as a funded trader or just someone that is going through the process of the evaluation, that can share a lot of his knowledge on how to pass the evaluation, how to trade the risk parameters, because trading on your own capital comparing to trading a funded account or a prop account is a different story. So this is definitely something you can tell the guys at home along the show today.
Yeah, that's right.
Great. So let's go. Let's do this. Scott, you want to start?
Yeah, shall we just have a look and see? Let's see how well you done yesterday, shall we, on that NQ trade? That was near perfect, and a strong hold from you on that dip below that line.
Near
there.
perfect, he says. So I'm stuck down there.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, that's to hold through that. I'm a weak holder on that perspective, but yeah, you held through that, and we're uptrending this morning on the Globex session. So let's have a look at. We're showing a little sign of some sort of accumulation at the top here. For me, we've just got into a buy side liquidity pool. So for continuation to the upside, I would need that to hold above 777 on the NQ this morning to see if we're going to jump to the upside on the open. So that's the NQ. Let's have a look.
On the NQ, I'll add a few things. It was funny actually because when I placed like alerts where I planned where to add, right? So when we talked about it in the live session yesterday, so I had like alerts in the system, and I just got home. It's 10 p.m. for me, and I just got home. And I saw the alert. I just jumped in and said, "Okay, that's it. I'm good to go. I'm just gonna head to the position." And yeah, it turned out to be a good one. I just closed it like 2 minutes or 3 minutes ago before the opening session or bell for us. So
Nice. That was a great trade. Great trade.
Thanks. Go ahead. Continue. I'll take over.
Okay, so just taking a look at the small caps today, we kind of got DTSS, DTSS, ELWS, and BRIA, and COGI has just popped up there as well. But I'll have a look at DTSS first. So DTSS, not DTS, DTSS, has Yeah, this morning it kind of done its early benchmark at 669. Let's bring this down to a 2 minute. You can see it a little bit better. So yeah, it had this push up here this morning into benchmark 1. That is literally off of its 15-minute lows back here in time. So with benchmark 1 and benchmark 2 hit, it came all the way back down to the liquidity pool down here at around 330, double dipped into there, and then since has run off and broken. And this is the key one for me on small caps, is when it first breaks that sell side liquidity pool, that's where you can get the aggressive move at the minute up to the kind of higher time frame benchmark. So I'd expect some pullback from this level. There is one above here. So if we go in supernova today on this, 19 could be the target. However, this is the second benchmark kind of thing. This is the session, and pre-market has done that, as it has been all through January and February. This is the pattern we're seeing. And now we're seeing benchmark 1 hold. So at the minute for me, I can't just jump in at that point. I need to see another buy side liquidity hold. So that would be around 859 for me right now. So that's where I would be looking to see some buy side on that. But obviously these can just push and run on the open. So we'll see if this cracks, then it can go. It could just go to 19. But we'll see if we can't get in a better position around 850 and 8. Actually, that's a buy side liquidity pool. Let's just mark that up as buy side. Yep. So that's what I'm looking for on DTSS. Anything on the big cap front before I go into another one there, Michael? Anyone else? What you're looking at?
Yeah. I got a few, but go ahead and do that. I'm trying to fix the mic. It's falling from the table here, so I'll be with that.
Okay. No worries.
I'm working on my watch list as well too, but I was looking at a couple from yesterday. So I was shorting Target. I'm not sure where that ended up for the day, but it had some interesting action there. And actually, I know it ripped through a chunk of the day when I was not expecting it. So we'll have to see if that strength continues. But Disney, I am holding puts overnight, and I will wait to see what we get on that here. But Disney had their earnings call last week. They're showing a lot of weakness off of that, and they've just sent out that proxy card request. They're talking about how they put push their dividend up a little bit, and just seems a little bit desperate on their side. So I'm looking for continued weakness in Disney today, but we'll see how it looks off the open.
Okay, no problems. Vanny, you got anything?
Yeah, I actually was looking at SPY and QQQ. I saw a new day opening gap that hasn't been filled yet. Also, I was looking at the CPI candle that formed a huge fair value gap. So I was looking for some longs eventually. But like going into New York Open right now, I'm a bit more bearish. So I'll probably be looking for shorts. But we'll see. We'll see what the market gives us today.
Okay, I got you. Nice one. What have we got?
One other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tim.
So I'm not sure if we talked about this when we were on stream or if that came up later, but PG and CL had a lot of interesting moves yesterday. Big move down off of that earlier, and then sort of pushed up towards the end, I believe. So, as I said, I'm still getting reconnected with mine, so I'm not looking too deeply. But yeah, I have those names on watch again today as well.
Okay, I'm just going to mark that up on CL. I've got sell side liquidity sitting up there around 83. Okay, so my other one I'm looking at is ELWS on the small cap side of things this morning. Similar pattern to what has happened with DTSS, and that is we've broken out of this accumulation down the bottom. So we popped up. This is from yesterday's post market. We popped up there. We broke out of this manipulation zone at 82 and headed straight to 166, which is the benchmark created from yesterday's lows. Now we have the next one up here, which is it just stopped short of I say I do. If you throw a line right in the middle of this, sometimes you get this kind of area where it just stops and pull back and doesn't quite get to that benchmark 2. Now, this was the backside. So this was the one that broke, and that's the one that's good for a push up to the next level. Didn't quite get there. So at the moment, we're still utilizing this liquidity pool here because we didn't tap all the way into it. So I've still got 108 here, 106 area to come down to if this stock is not going to fade all day. So if we're going to push to the long side on this when we open, it could be a dip buy down to $1-ish, turn around and back up to 290 or thereabouts. If not, the key level it's got to fail now. So ignoring that switch on there, I would see, so that if we're going to do this again to the upside, so it's kind of like this one broke, this one would have to break as well here. So around 222. So if we curl out of here and get to about 115, there's a trade on to 222. We could see it turn here, or it could bust through this and go. But I'd definitely be taking some off at 220 area if we can get in this trade to the long side if it comes down further.
Nice.
Okay. Put in the chat is there anything you want us to look at particularly, and we'll take a quick look. CMVS taquitos in there. Is that CMVS? Is that something you want us to look at, or something that's popping? Some quick look. Popping. Okay, so we've gone from 160 to 5 right now. Let's just quick look at the daily, see what's going on. Okay, it's been going on for some time. It's popping from, let's have a go, 155. Okay, it's well left these levels. It will be playing from this low here for me, and I'd be looking for that breakout of that level there at 155, which it has done. Then benchmark number 1, I would see sitting there between 270 and 318. That is a benchmark there. And then the other one, let's just drag that one up and use it again. Don't know where we are at today with that. Where's that pre-market? Are we already above that? We're already above that. Yeah, we are already above that. So let's just drag that across and see where we are on the daily list. We bring a 5-minute in. So yeah, we've pumped all the way above that level. Now we're going to wait and see if this is a spike, because I see that this level should at least be acknowledged with some pullback, but at the minute it's closed right above. So CNVS, if this is going to supernova today, let me just work off the pre-market lows here and see if I can get anything a little bit more. Right, so the daily has kind of done its thing. We're above it. It could snap back down. But if we're going to go with formulas off this morning, literally off the pre-market, the 2 newest levels that we would see would be here right now for 1 and 2. Oh, if I can drop that. So we have broke out of that manipulation zone here this morning. So it's not just sideways. We've gone up to target 1, target 2. The benchmarks now reside up here. All a little bit too early once again for small caps. I like to see this on the open, but the most we can hope for on the open now is pullbacks on these stocks in order to try and get something out of them. Or we're looking to short the pop if it runs out of steam. Let's just switch that across. Anything else you want us to take a look at there in the chat?
Yeah, so do you copy me well?
Indeed, yeah.
The microphone? Okay, cool.
That's better, yeah.
So, thanks. A few things. Well, I want to answer a few of the questions the guys at home had. But besides that, we just opened, Gil decided to open a poll, a survey, and ask you who is going to win today between the 4 of us in the trading. So that will be interesting. Go ahead and vote, and we'll see what the day will bring, right?
We will indeed.
So as for Salve, the guy that asked about the prop firm industry, keep in mind that a lot of the stuff that you're hearing right now on Twitter or whatnot coming from the Forex industry, in the future, and in the stock industry. Actually, there is no stock industry because we're the only one. But technically speaking, there's nothing to worry about. We are doing We trade in shares, real shares. We trade in US equities, basically. So nothing to do with what the Forex industry is experiencing right now. It's about regulated brokers and stuff that, and CFDs, stuff that happening only in the Forex industry. So you're good to go. I think there was one more question. Guys, the guy is asking about Trader Sync. Just send us an email, please, and we will take care of that. We will check with them. And let's dive into the. Do you have a minute to show some trades, or not trades actually? Stocks I'm watching. Scott.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. All right. So a few of them obviously running strong today. We got. Where is it? I saw Mara, MARA, right, straight from the Bitcoin area. So right now popping up to 29. Yesterday closed at 25.70. So I'll take the hourly chart and, like always, mark the levels, the close levels of resistance and support, basically that could affect the trading, the intraday trading, right? So 29 currently. You can look at this gap. It's still open from December last year. So we still got an open gap. You can mark it. The close of it will be at around 31. And obviously, this is also a nice level at around 29, a little bit above 29. You can see the tail right here and those open and close candles. So in that case, as long as we are above it, or actually opening below it, then that could be a nice place to start looking for the downside, unless we will break through it, retest it, and then continue to the upside. And then you got plenty of room to the upside, about $2 up. So that's a nice move. Stop loss should be roughly 30-40 cents. So yeah, so you got enough space to play with it. But first thing will be just to see if the resistance will hold here. If so, another option is to go short all the way to the 27.40-ish. So that could be also a nice move of roughly $2, $1.80. So MARA is on the list. A few more that I got are Lyft. You saw the earnings.
Robinhood, right?
No, Lyft. Robinhood.
No. I'm just saying Robinhood also had earnings, so that had some real interesting.
I got Robinhood and Uber as well, and ARM. So Lyft pop up after the earnings, dropped. Now consolidating at around 15. So again, I'm taking the hourly chart just to see what we got here, looking for those resistance and support levels. That's the beauty of trading stocks. You will always have those levels, open gaps. Look at this one, 1478, right? Exactly where I'm at right now. You can see all the tails. You can see all the gains around this level, right? So that's just, so this is the level right here. One tail, touching it, bouncing up, crossing it, closing above it, touching it, bouncing up. Again, playing with it, above it, and then the gap starts where below the level. So right now at around 15, obviously if we will start and drop to this level, that should hold. And if we see that we're getting this support from this level, then a nice bounce could be expected. You do have the close of the gap at 15 where we're at right now. And if we'll break through it, we got the end of the gap at around the close of the gap at around 15.50. Obviously, stops are very tight here, so you can easily find yourself with like 1-to-5 ratio. So keep an eye on Lyft. HOOD, Robinhood, up into 1340. Is it the high of all time? Not sure. No,
I don't know if they had a
so,
split,
right?
but split adjusted. I thought they popped up a little higher at one point. But,
Yeah.
I will say I listened to actually streamed their earnings call and like dug into the report. So it looked. I would say I'm looking for a. I'm bullish on it at the moment. That's some pretty good offerings. They're expanding to UK and Europe for one, and
That's
just a
nice.
bunch of other things. If I can remember, I'm still caffeinating, so if I can remember, I'll share that through the stream.
So it's open right on the resistance at 1350. So I guess we will like to wait until it break through that, retest it, and then try to go long. And I got Uber as well, with opening at around 74. This is the high of all time, if I recall right. Yeah, okay. So that's all-time high at 74. Interesting to go to the 1 minute chart and see what's going on there and how can we take advantage of that. We'll add the pre-market. Yeah, not a lot to use here. You got the level at around 73, this area right here, between the 73 to all the way to 80. So this one place you wanna look to buy the dip on that. Actually, it will drop to it. It will be very interesting to watch. And besides that, you can go with intraday levels such as the pivot point. As you can see, it worked very nicely as resistance twice, the red line and the blue light line. But looking for buy the dip at around 73 area could be a nice buff. That's what I'm aiming at right now. What do you think, Scott? Any big names today you're watching?
I don't know whether I should be discussing big names today because there's a bit of a competition going on. So maybe I should just stick to the small caps. Yeah, don't want to be giving away any tips here, but
I got you. Okay. So let me sharp up my X, right?
That's it. I think. Listen, are there any rules? Are there any rules? Can we trade whatever we want? Or is it just
anything you want? Yeah.
We can max up as much as we possibly can while still managing risk, I assume.
Correct. Let's do this.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna have one quick look. I've got Bria. Bria has topped 3 or 4 times at benchmark 2. Let me think. Let me just get this. Keep this a little bit consistent. Okay, so it's topped out 3 or 4 times at benchmark 2, wicked above it and come back. I would rather this come back down to 190, or say $2 to 150. It's a bit of a wide mark, but in any case, I want to see some rejection down at this level. I don't think this is enough. We've gone 1, 2, 3 levels into this pool, so for me, that's kind of done now. It could still hold, but I'd much rather have pushed down to 2 to have a chance of getting back to 550. What we got? We got 5 minutes. So if I was putting, is that the liquidity switch on? So I'm going to ignore that and go with the actual pre-market high. Yeah. So sell side, yeah, it's kind of a double top. We could see this run.
Now, can we take trades yet, or are we only starting when the bell starts?
Here we go. The competition started already. Eager Beaver's getting in early.
Yeah, you're looking at Tim is super focused, right?
Okay, all right. So Tim's going to go absolutely quiet and not say a word for the rest of the show.
That's good. Yeah.
All right.
You know he's working.
Good to know. All right. So that's not buy side. So this is sell side. That's right out there. So, yeah. So if we can push down into this, if there's a dip buy on at 2, then it would be kind of close it out at 460 if you want to be safe, or leave a little runner on to see if you can break 550 on that liquidity pool there. So that's about all I've got at the minute. Let's just have a quick look at DTSS. DTSS has dipped into its buy side liquidity pool there now. There is one above there. I don't know whether we can get it or not. It's literally would have to go supernova on us this morning if it does. Let me just check if there's any split on this. Was there any split action on DTSS? Yes. Okay. So there was a reverse split on this for 1 to 15. So we have seen reverse splits been going supernova the past 6 weeks or so. So let's keep an eye on this one.
Also got AUPST. UPST. UPST. Upstart. Dropped down like crazy after earnings. Now pushing a bit higher. So the low of yesterday after market is 24.50. Now it's at around 28.50. I'm going to the hourly chart just to find the next resistance level. I guess you can mark it. Let's see that. We got two levels. One will be at around 29.50, but the better one should be at around 31. This is what I'm seeing right now. Let's see. Yeah, at around 31 will be a better level than the 29, than the 30, sorry.
What are you seeing at 31? Actually, just swap you over. What are you seeing at 31 there, Michael?
So we got this one at 31, right?
Oh, I got you. Yep.
Yeah. So this resistance that played as support, another resistance, if we'll push to the 31, it should get rejected. You also have this tiny one at around 29.50, 30. Yeah, 29.50. But I'd rather see it go to the 31 and then try to short it. That's an interesting one as well. Already with 1.3 million volume, so we're good with that. ARM, by the way, we didn't talk about that. Continue to go crazy. 133 right now, so pushing super strong here.
I'm just going off memory here, but it sounds like it caught support then.
ARM?
I know that it was. Yeah, I know it was.
Yeah, just closed up the gap or the beginning of the gap, and then pushing very strong right now.
It was selling off, and then that sounds like a little higher than I remember it. I'm still just putting together my biofarm watch list, and I will say, that sector yesterday was in general selling off quite a bit. I remember the bear ETF for that, but BHC, Bravo Hotel Charlie, which is one I've been following for quite a while. But they actually started, kind of making a move up. So we'll see if that picks up again today, but that's when I'm watching. But just that sector in general, I feel I'm more biased to the upside on it than I would be otherwise. So I think they might have sold off what they had to sell off.
Okay, we started, guys. Let's see. Let the best man win. All right, here we go. Yeah, Maytar is also telling us about UPST. Interesting. We will definitely watch it.
So VJC, what do you see in, or Vanya, what do you see into and off of the open?
So right now on TQQ and SPXL, I'm still waiting. So for price to form a bias, because I'm in a range right now, right? Can't take any trades. I still see some major resistance on the higher time frame on the hourly chart, and I also want to see price break that resistance, maybe retest my demand zone, and then rally up. So I want to have a direction to go to, right, on the higher time frame.
Lift is pushing higher. Broke perfectly. Broke through the 15.
I've just taken some off. Sorry. Yeah, I've just I was in lift there. I've just taken some off at 1560.
This is why you are so quiet.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
I remember. Yesterday is too fresh in my mind, being halted 4 times in that trade. So didn't want to do that again. But yeah, so I've just. What we've done there. Let's see what we got. I got into that at 1509, and I've covered that at 1562. Not covered it. I closed it at 1562. So that was a long. I'll wait for a pullback, see if there's anything else to get into there. But yeah, all in, all out for that little jump there.
Nice. So market, I'm looking at the Nasdaq on an hourly chart. Obviously, we just got rejected from the highs of the 17,800 right here. But for me, it looks pretty good to the upside. Maybe not right at the moment, but technically looking at it, makes sense that we would like to break through and reach another 200 points above, something like that. So I'll keep an eye on the Nasdaq as well, also on Nvidia and Tesla, of course. MARA right now breaking through resistance. Interesting to see that. So now, as we said, if it goes above the 2920 and hold in the position here, hold in the support, we can try to go long on this one. That's what I will try to do, although that's the pre-market high. It's kind of risky. But first I want to see it closed above the 2920 on MARA.
Let's just done best execution from me. So top side and bottom side, both of those liquidity levels. So best execution buyers for the open. All these orders that have been placed, in the investment banks here have been executed at 186.50 or thereabouts and 185. Now we see what happens after this. To me, that is kind of a textbook execution for what's happened. That's why you can get the whipsaw in the morning. So kind of sitting on hands now to work out if this is going to break either side of those. I'm sure it will. It's just which one breaks as to whether or not there's more to the upside or downside at the moment. So just sitting on hands on Tesla for the second.
Nice. I took some Uber right now. So just got in at Uber with 100 shares, always starting small, building the position to give myself enough space to play with the level. The best scenario, as I talked about in the pre-market for me, is just if it could drop down to the 73 and then I'll add more to the position. That will be the best case scenario for me on Uber. If not, if we will start rising from here, then I'll continue to add. As you can see, intraday, we have this resistance at 78.44. So plenty of room to the upside. We just need to play and manage the trade before adding more to the position. That's super important. This could easily drop to the 73 and then just bounce from it.
Now, AMD is showing some strength. That's one that I'm a little bummed. I had a trade open in after hours. I was long 200 shares, and then I ended up closing that, but if I'd swung that, it would have worked out nicely.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can. I don't necessarily have that up just yet.
NQ dropping into its liquidity pool right now, NQ. So that we want
NQ?
this. Yeah, NQ's just dropping into its sell side, just dropping into its buy side there. Sorry, Tim, where you go?
Oh, it's pretty much there. I'm still just playing a little bit catch up on my setup and my watch list here. Now, this one here that I'm in, this IINN, so they have a new, I believe it's a first-in-class designation for, let me double-check what it is, orbiting blood oxygenation delivery system. So the first ever patent approval. They have 16 novel claims on that. So they pushed up quite a bit overnight. IINN. So they pushed up quite a bit overnight, sold off, and seem to have found some strength there. Same with Robinhood. Little heartbreaker move there. It was pushing up, dumped, and seems to have found some footing and move up again, I think. So I'm long both of those names as well as the BHC that I mentioned before.
So UPST is dropping down. It reached the resistance, the first one that we talked about, that actually I didn't want to trade. Actually, I wanted to wait until it will reach the 31. So already made a nice move. Maybe later on the day, if it will pop up again and reach the 31, we will get the rejection that I was looking for. Right now, just dropping, lift, continue to rise. Very nice move. Do you have anything on lift, Scott?
I've just added a small position. I don't like. I just kind of got in a bit late. I should have been in around 15.40. I didn't. I've just got in at just under 15. So I've got a level here at 16.20. I'm just seeing if it will push now, and then I can add some more if it does give me some momentum on it. But yeah, I needed to break 16 clearly to kind of add to this. Okay, there we go. There we go. Want 16. What do I want? I want 16.25. 16.25. I'll take that as well.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so
it's a great trade.
Out of that one. Thank you very much. Let's see if we got over here.
Ooh, that's a nice move. Guys at home, let us know if you took that trade, LYFT. Also, what you got on your radar.
Okay. Oh, it's pushing nice. Right. If it breaks, if it can close above 16, I'm going to say 16.42. It's a bit precise, but you could call it 16.50. The next level I have is, pretty much 16.80 to 17. Yeah. I mean, this is. Yeah, let's see if this holds for anything benchmark. It'd be nice to get another pullback, a bit more of a pullback on this. So what did I kind of had here, this benchmark sitting down here, and it's always an indication for me off the first swing. If I don't come back and get that liquidity, that we could be in for a stronger move, or at least yet another push, of kind of equal size at least. So I'd now be looking at this level, and I will track this high if it continues to go up, but there'll be liquidity residing down here for lift. So if we're going to kind of get some sort of program going on lift today, that's where I'd expect to give anyone that's in the program the next best price to come get it down there at about 15.80 to 15.60. Whoa, Tesla has broke the sell side to the bottom. Let's just check lift. Tesla. Okay, so yeah, so expecting that I shouldn't expect, but I was expecting that buy side to clear. I think, let me just quickly look at the NQ. So we've definitely dropped below best execution here. We've got a 184.56 is the target for that. So generally, if we do break one of these, we'll go down to the next level. Above was 87, below is 84.55. What's the Qs doing? Qs the same. So for the Qs I would be looking Qs 430 for Qs. It would need to break out of 430 to continue to go down, for me at least. So let's get back to Tesla. What's Hood doing actually? Okay.
Nothing much. Hood, yeah.
So Hood's also done best execution by the looks of it from its pre-market swing. So if we take them up there, you can see it's just tapped into 13.27, 13. So I'm gonna box this until we break. So that's the best execution levels that have gone in, and yeah, a break of that would should see some form of little trend going today if it's going to do it.
I'm ready to take a short on NVIDIA. Go ahead.
Yeah, just took a little short.
Oh, I was just saying, it's longer term, so go ahead and call out your plan, and I'll talk about Robinhood a little more.
So just looking at the NVIDIA, For me, the Nasdaq should continue a little bit lower to 17,720 around this area right here. And obviously, if it will break it, we have another support about 50, roughly 50 points below or something. So if I'm right on that, I would look to short NVIDIA. I actually wanted it to hold this resistance of the 200 EMA. Right now it's pushing higher. I will wait for it to return. If it will drop again, I will wait for it to consolidate and then take the short. Hopefully, obviously only if the market will do so as well. If not, it's not gonna push. Currently pushing higher. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so real quick, so one other interesting thing that I'm in, Zyversa, ZVSA. So that is, they just published, or they just highlighted data from a review, excuse me. Provides increasing evidence that activation of several types of inflammasomes and extracellular ASC specs contribute to development and progression of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, etc. So I'm assuming that that's something that they're in. I need to look into that further. But yeah, on the Robinhood front, it was real interesting on the call. It was kind of funny because for those of you who follow the ape culture and the meme stock thing, one of the conspiracy, I don't know conspiracy theories, but one of the big memes, one of the big ideas to do was everyone was taking everything out of Robinhood because they turned out the buy button, etc., and moving it into Fidelity was one of them. Of course, they later turned on Fidelity as well. But Vlad Tenev, the CEO, was kind of hyping that they actually had taken more AUM, more assets under management from Fidelity in the last quarter than the reverse, which was pretty funny. There was also a lot of talk about crypto and the activity there, their adoption as a crypto on-ramp. And so I think enthusiasm from there might carry over to crypto and vice versa. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not, just speaking personally, I'm not a huge fan of Robinhood as a broker. But the call was interesting. Oh, and the other thing is they are rolling out a desktop interface with pro features. I remain skeptical because to me it's more about getting the basic interface right, and there's a lot of glitchiness there. But yeah, they're going to get into futures, index options, desktop software for pro traders, and then they mentioned also in UK and EU they'll be having more crypto offerings than they're allowed to offer in the US. So, I mean, it seems like they're going guns blazing, across the board. We'll see if they can pull it off. The issue that, that famous incident with the buy button before, they didn't have the institutional competence to manage, they'd sort of bitten off more than they could chew. So we'll see how that happens. But it's an ambitious plan.
Nice. So interesting to look at the market. The Qs, for me, it looks pretty good to the downside, although you're pushing higher. But it makes sense to me that we will see another drop, hopefully. I'm watching Tesla because I gotta go back to my roots. And Tesla, for me, if it will drop to those levels between the 180, 120 to 182, that will be for me the buy the dip area. So I would definitely look to buy it at around this level. Obviously, I wanted to reach it high volume, like always, at the bottom, and some price action. If it will do so, that will be my key level to go in. NVIDIA is pushing much higher, so it won't be the short trade that I planned, at least. And I'm still inside of waiting for Uber to start driving. And basically right now I added.
I appreciate that joke. I got it. Sorry, man.
Thanks. Been waiting, I mean, it's a classic one. So so Uber, I added one more chunk. Again, the best one will be to drop to those levels of the 73 for me, and only then to add like the real or the extra size, reaching full size. So I'm still waiting. Doesn't look that good or bad. So we'll let it play along. What you got on Tesla, Scott? Where is your level?
Tesla, I have. Let me just check. I literally just. Let me just grab my screen here. Right. So what I had was a buy side liquidity pool. I was looking at lift. So obviously that was the break of that buy side liquidity pool. So close to that best execution buy that had already been completed to me is the short. I missed it as already down here. So now I have its target down here. If it was going to complete a session benchmark, it would be down here at 181.44. Kind of any of these levels can hold now. I would much prefer to pull back to where it came from, 185, to get short down to the benchmark. But if not, I'm going to have to hang on in there, see what the benchmark does, and then potentially play this to the long side.
Nice.
For all you small cappers out there, apologies not been hot on these this morning. We had this sell side liquidity level. Like I said, that can be the hot entry for a long if we break that. So it's 10.90, the break of that, or the close was at 11.30 up to 15. What I will throw that level in the middle here just to be careful of. But ultimately, this is kind of, you got to be careful with retail shorts coming in that will be working into these positions right now, just purely because the pre-market higher has been broken. So they know that people's going to be buying this. We've got the chat room pumps, all that sort of thing. They will be shorting into this. Now, if they can get squeezed, they're going to get squeezed to either 16 or that 18, 19 level right now. So we'll look to see if shorts get squeezed. And for the moment, those longs that have just literally taken the trade that is the pre-market high break, they will get paid for the moment. It depends whether those guys expect it to go to the moon or whether they do cover some into this 16, 18 area. But it's going for that. I call this my bogey area because it never really used to stop here. If it broke this level, it would literally close this gap within a certain amount of minutes. We'll see if it does it today. But that is working through. It's such a shame these do so much pre-market and that liquidity is so hard to find. I literally tried this morning and it just wasn't working. The liquidity just wasn't there. But like, what a trade from 350 now on the bottom. If you could have got in there all the way up. Let's see if it goes to 18, 19. I might look for shorts there because that's really overextended and a benchmark too. So I've been promising myself I'll try limit orders up at these levels at benchmark twos, but not today. I don't think. Not today.
Okay, they're telling me Go ahead.
I was just saying Tesla's pulling back. Tesla is pulling back. It's a question of how far it can pull back in order to get, if that is actually going to be a short down to the benchmark. Let me see where we've got. Yeah, no, it's still in the same place. So either test the backside of the liquidity pool, or the liquidity to the sell side would reside literally up from where it came from, back in that initial zone.
Nice. Maytar is telling us that AMD might be for the short side. So looking pretty good. Already made a new higher high, reaching those resistance levels on the hourly chart. But actually, a better one for me at least will be this area right here. So maybe we will see another push to the upside and then try to reach those levels at around 178, 178.50 or 30. That could be a better one for me to execute the short. Also, looking at the hourly chart, it looks pretty good for me to reach this area and then drop if not today, maybe the next few days. So AMD definitely one to watch in my watch list. And Gil in the back telling me that we need to check where we stand right now. Who is number one currently? Who is winning right now? What you got there?
I just took a Tesla short, by the way. I shorted like 100, so 184.95 until 184.21. I saw that new day opening gap, and I saw a very nice retest back into my supply zone. So I decided to give shorts a stab. That was my first trade.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I added a little bit more to my Uber trade, so my average price went up a little bit because I added it in the money. Still, the best one for me will be if it can drop and add more, but at least for now, it's moving higher. Let's see about that. How many winners do you have until now, Tim?
I've just got 2 on lift. Oh, sorry. I've just got 2 on lift. Yeah, so not great size. It was kind of 200 shares on lift there. So I've got 20. I've got 194. So not big size, but that's where I'm at.
Nice. How many do you got, Tim? How many winners? Or are you still in that trade? You can look at Tim and see that he's super focused on that.
Yeah, just one winner right now. I'm just managing some of these. So right now, I did enter Disney short again to see what happens there. It looks like that right shoulder could be curling over there. I've just got it up on a little chart here.
Go ahead.
But we'll see what happens. And I've actually just got up on the thing. And then target as well. I was seeing some weakness there. But that will just depend right here. It's just testing that upper, there's an upper line of this sort of triangle thing. So remains to be seen whether this is a, whether this bouncing cat is dead or alive. So I'll keep an eye on that to either exit or flip. But Disney is green and going a little greener. I did also short Amgen. Just because I saw some initial weakness, and I'm long a few biotech and biopharm names, but you know, those are more in the small cap space. It's not a perfect hedge, but again, this is one where you know, I'll just kind of see where the direction goes. I took a feeler there, and we'll see what happens. An IINN. Probably a catch here. I think this is where I added on a little bit, so I'll look to see if it holds here or just gaps back down to last night's close. But technology-wise, it sounds cool, but you know, a lot of these small cap medical things, you know, as soon as they have a good breakthrough, they use the opportunity to raise some funding. So you know, and those retail shorts you mentioned also love to pile in and try driving it down because they see the room down to the downside. So
yeah,
we'll see how strong it is.
Damn. Oh, I missed my lift. I couldn't resist it after your Uber comment.
Right.
I missed my lift, but I did miss my lift. I really did miss my lift. What I got here, like literally that buy pull back there into that liquidity pool. I should have. That was my second trade. I should have added there because this is the one that can go up to $17 if it can break past this benchmark too. Gutted about that, but never mind. Tesla's still pulling back to the level. It's probably backside of that. Yeah, so it's the backside. Look, okay, so let's see what we've got here. See what we can do on Tesla. So for me, this is kind of a difficult situation because we didn't complete the benchmark. So if we break out of that initial best execution zone, I expect the benchmark to be hit down here at 181. We didn't. We only got halfway before we pulled back, and we haven't gone into the liquidity pool. So VWAP knocking about there as well. But yeah, I'd also try and see what's going on at the lows here to see where it could go. So it's telling me it could have 186 on it if it wants to go to the other side. But at the minute, I want to get some of this short. I feel if we can hold this level.
Yeah. Handy shout out. You hit your max loss for today. No worries. Tomorrow will be a new day. So take your time, reassess, try to understand what happened there, what you need to work on, and tomorrow come back stronger. That's the beauty, by the way, of trading with a prop firm, because we do have the risk parameters and the mechanism of risk to prevent you from blowing the account. So that's super important. Nice cannoli on Leaf.
All right, now I am taking a hit on this. I'm taking quite a hit on this IINN, but Amgen is also going to the downside, looks like, so far. And Amgen, I said before, this is a big mega cap that it moves like a penny stock. So that'll be interesting. If it really heads down, that could be a big winner.
So Uber is starting to move. I won't take that joke again. Won't say it again.
You only got one laugh the first time. Sorry.
We got a nice move on Uber. I actually like to lose on trades, on the unrealized. I like the trades to go against me so I can add more to the position and get bigger along with the risk parameters instead of adding to a winner, basically, when it goes to my favor. That is actually more difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah, that works as long as you plan for it. There's a big difference, it's just like turning what you meant to be a day trade into a swing trade. You're like, oh, I'll hold it, maybe it'll cover overnight.
No, not like that.
Or averaging down, and then as long as you plan for it, and you've talked about that in your videos, but if you have an entry range, that gives you that flexibility.
Exactly. And okay, see, Lyft is crossing the 16.4. That's good for Uber as well. And Venya, let us know what you're doing, because you took that short on Tesla. Are you still in?
I'm in I re-entered right now. I saw a break and retest in my supply zone, so I took a re-entry. Going short, my target would be 184.20, and it's gonna drop right now, I hope. So that would be my second trade.
Nice. Yeah.
If it hits, so let's see. I actually really like Tesla on the 1 minute, like for my model I use for my strategy. There we go. And drop
do you use there we go. Order?
No market order.
Okay.
Yeah, just got filled, so my second win is secured. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice. So for other tickers like QQQ or like SPY, I only use the 3 minute, but for Tesla, the 1 minute is insane for my strategy. So that's really nice to see. I actually told Tim I just came out of my drawdown under 160K because I was in some massive drawdown, and I figured it out, and now I'm up again. So let's see where I will get.
Okay, I would love to get you, once you pass the evaluation, I would love to get an interview with you and talk about that, specifically on that, because a lot of the guys are like generally, not necessarily going into obviously drawdowns, and the mentality you need to have in order to overcome the drawdown or reach break even and go to profit, it's a
really
very
hard.
tough one to reach. Yeah. And also on the technical side and also on the mental side. So it will be interesting. I see Tesla continue to drop down. Did you take it, Scott? This
Yeah,
is
I did, yeah.
perfectly as nice, exactly as you wanted it.
The thing for me, Michael. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. The thing for me, Michael, is like the change because I started off with a 14K account on TradeNet a few months ago, so like last summer, and I blew that account because of my psychology. But like I know my strategy works. But I also told Tim to get comfortable with like 160K was like the hardest part because like the switch from a very small account to like a very large account. That takes some good psychology, I can say, for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
So
So you can see where this kind of plays for me. Oh, I just lost it. Bear with me. Right. So see this entry here. Right, actually, if I move this, I don't know if you can see both. I'll move this over to the side a little bit. So I had this drawn in, right? It was either going to come to sell side liquidity. If it doesn't come to sell side liquidity and it's coming to the backside of the previous buy zone, it doesn't need it for me. So it can continue down to its benchmark. It's now paused in its buy side liquidity pool. But you can see earlier that was a clear FOMO entry, right? I saw that benchmark, that buyer's hold liquidity level break here. And this down here was a FOMO entry. Like as soon as I'd hit the button, I'm like, no, I shouldn't be in this. Wait. So I literally cut it there. And then I come in. As soon as it got that backside there, see that in there, as soon as it started working out of that, that's when I kind of started hitting the button. And then as it's getting in my favor, I added a few more and took it out as soon as it entered this buy side liquidity pool, because you never know what it's going to do. Just going to go back and grab some more. There will be a new liquidity pool here now based on that rundown. So if they want to come back and get it, it sits up here. But I will be looking now to see if they come back and get that or they use the backside of this, because ultimately I do want it down here. I don't think it's done for the day. It could be, but I don't think it is. But I think doesn't get me into very good places. So I'll just play the levels as I see them on Tesla. But that's where I was with Tesla.
Right on the dot. That was crazy. Yeah. Waiting for it to fall. As you said, the level there, the 180, 150-ish. So at the bottom could be an amazing place to start shorting long.
Yeah, let's see what we've got here. Quick look at Lyft. So yeah, Lyft still struggling here with this. This is kind of the last ditch sell side liquidity pool for Lyft. It's in there right now. So if we can break that convincingly with a little bit of an uptick in volume, then I'm seeing 17 on Lyft. Skip that. What's the Q's doing? Or NQ at least. Okay, NQ dipped below its buy side quite aggressively, still holding that sell side at the moment. So yeah, kind of trapped.
It's a new high for me in Uber. Reaching those the 77 on Uber. That's a nice one. Oh yeah, bring it in. We're going to do a lot more like this, I gotta tell you. I love these animations. Anyway, reaching 77 on Uber right now. My only problem is that I got only 300 shares. That could have been a great one, but I only added 3 times and not too aggressive. So I got a good trade or a good move, but the overall profit is much lower than what I wanted to achieve at least. What I will do, I'll be a little bit greedy here, and I'll wait for the downside. So I'll wait for the pullback, basically. We still got the resistance at 78.50 of the pivot point, intraday pivot. So that could be the next resistance level for me. But I want to see some pullback or something that I can add more to the position, and then hopefully it will go higher and reach that resistance level. So this is what I'm aiming for, at least. Obviously, resistance support could be at around 76.60, where the tail is of the opening bell. Yeah, that's the only thing that I got here. This move is a bit extended, but I guess if we will play and hold this 76.50, maybe a little bit lower than that, I will add more to the position and try to build it and go all the way up again. Do you have any resistance levels intraday on Uber, Scott?
Bear with me just 1 second. I'm just managing this lift again.
Yeah.
It's not. It's so close to a level. I wanted 1680 from this. It looks like 1670 could get in my way. I wanted to add into this, but it doesn't feel like it's got the momentum. So let me just come on. No, I want momentum. I want momentum all the way up to that level. No red. We're going to get that pop to 670, 680. If we can get that, I'm good. It's not big size trade. That you can see that like that's the first trade on 2 massive candles. This is giving me a bit of grief here. I don't want to risk what I already don't. No, I'm out. No interest at that pullback, because that could pull back to 1640. So the right thing to do for me now is, I've given up a little bit there, is to wait for this, as it didn't want to get there straight away. Benchmark. No, it's not a benchmark. So buy side.
Nice.
Okay, so that's broke.
Yeah.
I do expect it to go there, but it didn't go straight there. So let's see if they want to pull back to 1630 before they do. That'd be my next trade on lift if I can get it. Sorry, you asked me about Uber. And Tesla thinking about it. Uber. So Uber's just broken its sell side liquidity pool. No, sorry, these are marked up wrong. It's just broken its benchmark.
By the way, guys, I just secured my third trade on Tesla. A little long scalp until the previous resistance we created on 184.75. So
nice. Did you take it from what was your entry price?
My limit order was at 184.20 at the retest level, and my take profit was at 184.82. So
nice. Interesting.
Yeah. So Uber, yeah, stacking these polls. They're very, very close this morning. So Uber, benchmark 1 on the open. Actually, was that a call? Yeah. Benchmark 1 on the open, pulled back to its buy side liquidity pool there, broke its sell side, hence the snap up to from 76 to 77. Now just looking to see whether, again, it wants backside of that liquidity pool or it wants to come down to this buy hold liquidity pool down here. But yeah, this could, as it's broken above, this could have 78.50s on it today. It's whether or not it needs to pull back and get that liquidity.
Yeah. Nice work, Canoli and Adrian. Good luck. Tiny, great. Let us know where you're at, what you're doing right now. We're looking for watching NVIDIA as well. MARA starting to drop finally. So Mara dropping down. We might see another trade there on the MARA. So the best case scenario for me will be to just pop up to the next resistance level at around 28.80, so right about here, and then try to short it to the next support level at around 27.70. So you got about $1 move to the downside. So basically, if we can move higher, all this resistance, try to short it and try to reach a new, if it could reach a new low, that could be a great trade on MARA. Took it a while, played with the level. Let's see. Tesla don't want to go down, huh?
No,
I'm maybe looking for some longs in Tesla. Again, a re-entry. Let's see. In 1 minute. There we go.
I'm still waiting for the Nasdaq to drop and reach this support level at around 17,730. If it could do that, I would look for the upside on the Qs and maybe also on other names, regular names like Nvidia and Tesla. I just want to see the Qs dropping or the Nasdaq dropping down again before the next push up. Either way, I'm good, because if the Nasdaq will go higher, then it's going to help Uber to push higher as well in some way. And if not, I'll try to go long at around this level. Maybe Tesla will reach the support level that we talked about too.
There we go.
That's interesting. Target and Disney are both trying to push here, but they feel like they're rejecting. Target, I think of the two, Target has probably more strength to the upside, given that it's still sort of holding more of the push, and it's got a nicer gap up that it could fill to the upside. So keeping an eye on that. And then Disney as well. It did start to sell off that little push, and just needs to see if it breaks that lower support line, that lower rising support line. So we'll see.
Yes. Just looking for an entry on Tesla right now. Just want to see this rejection on the 1 minute. There we go. Let's see.
Okay, Andy. Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Lift very close to it, 1680 there.
Doesn't look that good. Let's see.
Okay, Tesla's in a sell side liquidity ball right now. Let's see what we can get here. What do you want from that? What do you want from that now?
Okay, I took a short on Mara. Just got in.
Yeah.
Oh, also this reminded me, this talk of Robinhood reminded me of GameStop, and that looked like a short today. Missed a little bit better entry, but it looked like, I'm not zoomed in here, but it looked like I saw a inverted cup and handle forming there too, so. Short that.
Okay. So Mara started to move. Basically, that's as we said, we wanted it to go to this resistance area and then start to drop. Hopefully we will get it a new low. If we will reach those levels, that could be good. And support level, as you can see, at around 2770. I took 500, so if it will bounce up again, I can add a little bit more to my position. You got this area of yesterday pre-market high at around 2780. Makes sense with the pivot at 2770. Let's see if it can drop to those levels. And besides that, Uber is still in the money. So a little bit lower than that, I can start adding to Uber. Wanted to see it goes to 76.50, even 76.20. That could be also a nice place to add more to the position. Tesla is running up. I don't know if we will get this support level today, you know?
Yeah, it looks like it wants that upside 187 to me now. More so than it wants the 181.
I'm going to add a little bit more tomorrow. Pushing a bit higher. So just added more. Now I'm in a loss, but it's still working in this level of 28.80, 28.90. So as long as it's all in that position up until 29, that could be okay. Let's see. If it will show me some negativity or like starting to drop and reject the 29, I can add more to the position, roughly below the 28.90, and then I will wait to the outcome. And let's see if it can break the 28.90. I'm not too convinced that I can add more to Uber at the moment. And it's just, you can see it on a 1 minute chart, it's just moving sideways. Not too convinced that this is the right moment. I'd rather see a drop, like a strong drop, and then bounce up to add more to Uber. What do you think about ARM from 2 days ago? ARM just starting to move.
No, I do. Yeah, it looks like there's a. So I have a line drawn. I'm not sure when I drew this, but this level here, this 129, was actually a fib level that I had before, and then so it looks like the 161 level, and then I had a magic trend line earlier, so we can see it's up here. So here was kind of the main channel, and then pushed up here. There was the 161, came back, and it went right up to that 423, came back, and now it's going again. So this could be good for another run. I've actually deliberately been staying away from ARM because I had a pretty nice take on it, and I wanted to kind of clear my head and not FOMO back in. So this one here, I'm not sure when I drew this. I think I just drew this yesterday or a little while ago, but you can see here, I think this line here is kind of what it needs to get past to get back into whatever that shorter term channel was. It's one of those where if I don't draw on the right trend line, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so I would be cautiously optimistic on ARM. I mean, again, long term, I'm still bullish on the company, but To be honest, I don't know what is a fair price for it, but I do feel like it was undervalued before.
Okay. That's a funny one.
So I just covered Tesla there. I didn't cover it. I bought it. So yeah, let me show you what I've done. So I attempted a short. I covered it. And then I bought in. Was it 168? 168. Dyslexia. 186. Hit it 186. Did I just take that last chunk? One sec. Oh, maybe I did. 186.40. Yeah, it looks bigger than that. It looks bigger. It looked bigger. Yeah, I took it from 186.40 to 187 where the benchmark was. So yeah, it done kind of 50% of what I would expect it to do on the downside because the spread at the top was bigger. So it predicts the benchmark to be lower. Now, it then broke the sell side liquidity pool, which is why I was interested in it. So when I took a look, it was kind of moving up. So I just hit it here. So just trying to get that gap. This is the ideal gap to get between a liquidity pool and a benchmark if you can get it. So that's where I went in. But so as soon as it tucked in there at 187, I got rid of that position and closed it down. So that's it. Yeah, I've got to admit, I was just biased trying to play that down to this level, but it just didn't look like it wanted to do it. So broke one sell side, broke the second sell side, and that's it done. So I'll watch up here now to see if we get some sort of spread, some sort of accumulation up here to see if it actually does want this one down here. Okay, detach that back. So a DTSS on the short cap side should have shorted the benchmark too on a limit order. It got up there all the way to 19. So did like pause at this little bogey level that I've got here, but then run all the way up to the all the way to 20, in fact, before coming off there. I'd be looking at a benchmark now from that whole run. It's kind of just tacked into it. Not a benchmark, sorry, buy side liquidity pool. So I would expect that to be done for the day, but these have been known to bust benchmark twos and just go crazy, just go hollow. So we'll see what it does. But for me, I think buy side would be there. This would be the key area right now, is this sell side, right? For a short sell side, yep. So this would be up here at 18s, obviously risking high of day on the short side if we can get up there. If we break, then it could just blast on through to wherever it kind of wants to, so long as those buyers keep appearing. But yeah, that was DTSS. There was some money there on the short side. Yep. Hood, we got on Hood. So Hood did break out, but has come back to where it is right now. So on Hood, I'd be looking. Oh, I've already drawn it in there. So yeah, between 1350, 1370 needs to hold one way or the other if it wants to come back there at all.
Yes.
So then to look for the drop on lift?
Not necessarily, because that benchmark is so huge. This has literally got liquidity pool sitting up here. It's got benchmark 2 sitting up there. So there's no reason for it actually to stop where it has done. This is this is a nice retail buy area. That is a nice entry. I do like that. It's just whether or not it's got legs on it to get above here. So let's do the whole. Yeah, let's do the whole lot. Yeah. So it's currently going to think about what it wants to do. Now, what's the time? Okay. Yeah. It's going to think about what it needs to do here. We could track between these two levels until after lunch, but that's what I would look for. The breakout of one of these levels I would see to give it more momentum, upside or downside. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just want to short it off right here because there's so much above it.
Now I did flip long on Target for what it's worth, because it was just continuing to push up against that. Disney is sort of rejecting off of the opening push up there, but see Target over here has this big area. It's got another, let's see, 534. There's another 50, 60 ticks up there for the overnight gap down, so see if it closes that.
Nasdaq pushed through a new high, broke through the resistance, and I got a level between the 1780, 860, all the way roughly 40 points above it, or 30 points above. So we got this area where the Nasdaq probably will reach, and then makes sense that we will see the rejection. Best way to go to that level will be if the price will drop, reach support or resistance that will become support, and then push to a new high. If we'll see that on Nasdaq, and obviously it will look the same on Qs, for example, then that could be a place to start looking for the downside on the Nasdaq or Qs, and also on those big names like Tesla and Nvidia that not giving up yet on the long side. I'm still holding Uber. Didn't add on the drop. Thought about it, but decided not to. Just not too convincing for me, at least now. So I'm still waiting to see how it goes. As long as I know that there is a major resistance at the top, then I'm okay to wait and see if it can play it out and actually break through the high. And again, if it will drop just a little bit lower than that and convince me at least, or the price action will be more determined, then we can I can add more to that. Mara, I'm still in. So basically, break even, maybe $50 or 100 in profit in those two trades. Now pushing higher Uber, but Mara doesn't look really good for me. I will probably start closing it just a tiny bit more. I'm just waiting to see how it reacts to the next resistance that right here. I'm still okay on the risk parameters on the dollar wise, so I can let it play just a little bit more. My thought is that if it's not gonna break here, it will probably go to a new high. So I will have to close the trade and maybe try to look for shorting it at around $30. That's what I would look for. I'll give it a little bit more time. Currently, it doesn't look so good.
Now my Colgate short is actually, it is green again, but it's sort of pushing up, and I'm actually going to close that if I can get a good fill, simply because some of these other things seem to be going down as that pushes up. I didn't look over to PG yet, but you know, the weakness in other names could be, you know, it could be an inflation trade. So We had some Fed speakers today. I forget the exact time, but see if I can find. Okay, we had Goolsby right at 9:30, and then Barr at 4, Bostic at 7 p.m.
Quite day to day.
It's concentration, isn't it?
Yeah, because of that. Who thought about this competition?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Come on, own up. Who was it? Was it Gil?
Of course, it was Gil.
Of course, it
With
was
his
Gil.
crazy ideas.
Sits there in the background doing his producing stuff and gives us.
I think he already left. I think he already.
No
went home.
way.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the result. He will probably.
My work here is done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Oh dear.
How are you guys doing at home? Do you have anything special you're working on? Looking to short anything? When is that, Tim? When is the what is called the speech?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Goolsby was speaking at 9:30, and then let's see if I remember the order. Barr at 4, Bostic at 7. Let me see where they were, just to see if I'll.
I think we'll get some.
This site doesn't have the. I mean, you never know. It just depends on what they decide to say, or
Right.
what the Q&A is. I'll see if I can find out what the forum for each of these is, or the venue. Let's see.
Damn.
Interesting. This other site only has one of them. Barr is at 4. Barr speaking. Oh, participating in a moderated discussion, a view from the Fed Reserve Board of Governors, the annual National Association for Business Economics Economic Policy Conference.
Doesn't
That's at
sound
4.
like it's going to move the market. Let's say.
Yeah, that's right at 4 p.m. too. So.
Oh.
Yeah, Goolsby was already at 9:30. I don't know where. But. Man, AMD and Nvidia both kind of look like they're topping. I don't know.
What's the market is doing? Nasdaq dropping a little bit. That's good for us. Oh, I don't have my screen here. So Nasdaq is dropping just a little bit. Hopefully, it will push to those support level, the resistance level, hold it, and then try to push higher. That will be the best case scenario for me to look for the short side right here. I'm waiting for the right trade. UPST, also interesting. A new low. Let's see if we got some levels here. And we're kind of working this level right here at 26, where we at right now, or very close to reach. Yeah, that could be a nice level to see how it will react. on the hourly chart, we got the level. That's also pre-market level as well. And as you can see, we have 25.20 at the bottom. So I'm just waiting for big push to the downside to see volume increasing at around 26. If it will break the 26 with high volume, that could be a nice place to start buying in. And all the way to the 25.90, 25.85. So this whole area.
Still got Lyft trying to hang on to its buy side liquidity pool here to see if it makes another run, but it does seem to be kind of trapped between these two pools here. So I wonder if it can do anything this side of lunch, though.
Uber is at a new high as well, 77.70.
I tried that twice at 77.25. But yeah, it's didn't look like I wanted to break it then, but now that's definite close there. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely, yeah. Okay. In a drawdown, but a good day. It's always good to have a good day, especially when you have a drawdown. Get yourself out of that hole. The thing about Scott, let's talk a little bit about that. It's interesting. Obviously, you have so much experience trading. You got yourself probably many times into a drawdown and got yourself out of that as well.
More than you know.
Yeah. So what is your take on that?
It's the same with everything, and it's the same with for me for like prop firm. I don't know, like the guys on the call that have passed the program here, but I just always have to size down afterwards. I know it seems counterintuitive to size down when you've just taken some drawdown, but it's a size down and add to the winners when the trade is in your favor with momentum. And that's it. So I like to know where my gaps are, and that's it. And if I'm not in the gap, I don't really want to be in the trade. So here with Uber at the moment, like where we are right now, I'd like where we were. We was in that gap. When we come back to this, I don't like to be in. I do like to see that momentum continue in these sort of areas. And my favorite one is the gap that you see from like the initial one to the first benchmark. That can be very aggressive, nice little trend. So yeah, in a drawdown, I size down, come back to the table, kind of look at the rules that I give myself. I break rules so easily. That is kind of a trait with me, just life in general. It's one of those things. I do find it hard to stick to the rules. So it's I think I just size down and have it takes more time, but I just find that it takes the pressure off. It's as soon as I start getting emotional in a trade, I know I'm too big. Obviously, it's one of those things.
No doubt.
I'm always I've heard this different places, but if you can't step away from it, or if you find yourself like really caught up in it, means maybe your trade's too big. But this one guy I've mentioned a few times in the chat, Randy Howell, he talks a lot about breathing. So he goes into the sort of I guess neuropsychology and evopsych, all this kind of stuff, but he talks about breathing a lot, and both as like a way to react if you find yourself stressed, but also as a way to keep that stress from coming in, and therefore to keep your mind in a sort of reasoning mode rather than the more sort of primitive, like he calls it caveman brain. So he emphasizes making a point to just breathe, make sure you're breathing deeply and slowly rather than hyperventilating or sitting on the edge of your seat all tense. And
Yeah.
whenever I remember that, it helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point, I guess, because I've been doing that many years, and not necessarily even with trading. Generally in anything you do in life that stress you out, or you're in a adrenaline mode position.
Well, you do rock climbing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything? Do you find a lot of crossover from that? I mean, they even call the route. It's called like problems, right? When you're trying to do the rock climbing, like, do you find a crossover between those? Between that
between
and trading
and there are many things you can find. That are equivalent to climbing and to trading. Obviously, the part of doing it solo, right? You with yourself, with the headset, and you're focusing on what you do. That's at first. But it's much, at least for me, the climbing is much more like a slow pace, right? Slow pace comparing to trading, because I love to trade very like a 1 minute chart, and all the momentum and the energy, the adrenaline, all of those things. So it's always remind me, trading is very similar for me to driving. I like to drive fast. So it's always very similar to me on that level. But in climbing, it's just being by yourself, like in trading, but much more easier, like easy going, not necessarily easier.
I used to ride a motorcycle, and I need to get another one. It got wrecked, not by me, by an errant taxi cab.
We need you alive, as
yeah.
team. We need you alive.
And but yeah, I always noticed that was something that it was kind of similar, because on the motorcycle, if you weren't in a focused mindset, if you get out on the road, if you're not paying attention and you're on a motorcycle, you will be paying attention pretty suddenly, because something will kind of snap you to it. It's like, oh wow, I need to be in the moment, and I don't think I had it for very long, or I don't know if I had it during the time I was actively trading, but I would be curious to see if, if I was having a bad trading day, not focused, go out and ride, come back, see if it
kills you.
Well, that too,
That's what it will do. If you had a bad day and you're on a motorcycle, something is not right.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I was always very careful there in the risk, so it's interesting.
Nice.
Hey, Vanya, what's your background, if you don't mind me asking, and do you have do you have something from other experience that you bring to this, or any similarities you see?
Vanya took his profit on Tesla, and that's it for the day.
Yeah, he's out for a ride, right? He's out buying a Hayabusa.
Yeah, I was muted. But do you mean like in general, or with like trading?
Just in general, just sort of curious, what brings you to trading, or what you bring to it, or what you've noticed that you're applying from elsewhere, if anything.
So, quick like background. I started off trading like between 6 and 8 months ago. It actually was like in the COVID period, and I had a gap year, so I had a lot of time to trade. And I just found out about trading, and there was a community in my country that I saw on social media, and that actually got me into trading. And yeah, it became a hobby of mine. So yeah, that's it.
Where are you located?
I'm in the Netherlands.
Ah, nice. Which city?
Rotterdam. You know it?
Yeah, of course. I've been there.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like kind of my journey with my my trading past, and I'm of course still learning I'm also thinking like, oh yeah, 6 months is not a lot of time, so I do not expect anything to happen. I also don't have expectations um, with passing my account, for example.
Yeah, but that's amazing that you find us, and that you
Yeah,
went for the challenge. That's incredible.
yeah,
Scott, I'm sure you feel the same as I. If we would have the chance to have trade a pool from the day one, start trading, I mean, so crazy. Not
yeah,
risking your own capital, the risk parameters that prevent you from doing all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
I
it.
look at it as it's the max loss is your stop loss, right? If you're willing to risk a few £100 to go and buy that program, then that is actually the maximum you could lose, and you can try out different styles whilst you're in that program that paper trading doesn't bring the same. I find it so difficult to size up on the program just because I'm used to such big numbers, and now to bring it down to a level that you need to accommodate that risk and that max stop loss. But at the end of the day, it's like, for a few $100 you can try out, and that's really your ultimate risk. So it's it's the best way to get in, and no one in the profession trades their own money, right? It is either you've either your investment bank putting the client orders in, you're in a hedge fund. Some of the best bank traders have gone to hedge funds and prop firms, and that's it. That's where the best talent is now. So
Exactly.
so yeah, you don't catch any of them trading their own money. even aside from the agreements.
This is exactly what I'm saying all the time, because I'm trying to explain. We've been in London a few times last year, and that's exactly what I talked about. All the big players in the industry not trading their own capital.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? If you have the opportunity to trade someone else's capital, obviously you want to do that because you detach yourself from the money. So the whole aspect of losing, like the fear side of losing money that you worked hard to save and all of that is basically disappeared. So you have a very clear state of mind that you can actually make a logical decisions and not just by fear of losing your capital.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and even if you have to have a go 2 or 3 times, it's best that you've got 45 days to try and prove yourself and pass. But even if you have to do that 2 or 3 times, that initial investment is still probably it's going to be under. You can do it for under 1,000, but you can certainly do it for under 3,000 if you want to trade some extra size. So I think it's a no-brainer for me.
True.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that, and it's interesting, like talking about the fear or the, right, the two trading emotions, fear and greed, right? But honestly, I find myself telling people, and I try to remember this myself as I work on passing my own evaluation. But one of the things is that it seems to me the less you stress about trying to pass, the less you try to rush it, especially, the more likely you are to pass. It's kind of a counterintuitive type thing, but the more I focus on my progress, or the more I focus on especially rushing, let alone just passing by the deadline and not having to extend, but trying to pass early, and then I end up getting in these kind of holes, and you can get in a spiral that way, versus if you just focus on the trades, focus on taking good trades, let it come to you. I find the profit just kind of comes in. So and my trick is remembering that once I get on a roll. I'm probably more prone to kind of euphoria than I am to because I can actually get, it's usually a little too late in the game, but I can get really focused and work with small amounts. But it's much trickier when it's like, oh, I'm on a roll, I've got all this room to work with, and if you don't watch that, pretty soon you don't have room to work with. But it's interesting.
Yeah. So I think we got, definitely, and we got a few more minutes to go. Scott, you have a question from Scott. So how do you set your liquidity zones?
So the liquidity zones are so the formulas that I use are from areas that I believe, having looked at publicly available exchange data, that buy programs would find better prices to execute for those that are part of the buy program. So having looked at that publicly available data, I've coded it into this like simplest overlay tool that I've had my developers do since I've left the industry. And that's what it does. It looks for, you generally don't see this liquidity appear on level 2, but you will see it appear on the time and sales. So that's it. It's kind of, yeah, in simple terms, anywhere that you think you're looking for a double bottom, it stops just short of that, and people would give it the term front running, but actually it's kind of a hidden liquidity pool just sitting there for a next best execution on any given program trade. I think that covers it without me giving anything away.
Maybe in the future we can do something for our traders and try to give them a run on that liquidity zone.
Yeah, so I've got some developers looking at it at the moment. They're kind of licensing it up and protecting it and all this sort of thing. And got some guys looking at trading view and see if we can't build it into that, but that's looking a bit challenging. But yeah, we'll see what we can get for you.
Nice. So let's sum it up, I guess, for today. I'll share my screen for a sec. So market didn't hold the position here or the support here. Still, for me, it looks good if it can push higher. And as you saw yesterday, it was like an hour before the end of the day, right? The extra push that we aimed for. This area was just about like 30 minutes before the end of the day. So it could easily be also at the end of the day or the second half of the session. So just make sure you're watching this area. If the price will go there, it should hold, and maybe you will get your short there. Besides that, I'm still open on Mara and Uber. On Mara, I reached that almost break-even point, and I took 300 shares out. So I'm still in. Could be with a loss. For me, Mara doesn't look too good, but I'm still waiting for it just to see if it can continue a little bit lower than my break-even point, and then I reassess. And for Uber, as you can see, pushing nicely to the upside. And again, I just didn't add. For me, I should have had more here, obviously, as I said I would, but I didn't, and still waiting for it to reach 70, around this resistance at 78.50, something like that. I will cover it, although it's making some noises that it might want to turn. I see volume increasing. We'll see if it can break through the 78. If so, I will hold it for the 78.50. If not, I will cover. Finally, a tiny profit in Mara today. So Kenoli, thanks for that, helping me to push it down. And yeah, so we need to understand who won for today, or are we waiting for the end of the day?
No, I think we can announce it before we close. We've got 5 minutes. So
maybe we should do both, and then we can let people know how it worked out for the end of the day.
Let's test that. How many winners do you have?
1, 2, 1. Let me bring this across here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winners. They're not all biggers. They're not big size. Right. But basically, that was 2 on Lyft and a few on Tesla. Scratching Uber a little bit.
Nice. Tim?
Yeah, so I've got mine up here. So right now, let's see, number wise, I have a couple that are small winners realized, and then four open positions that are winners right now. I'm down about I'm down 784 realized, but I've got 92 and climbing unrealized. So it really depends on if so Disney did get rejected there. If that continues to the downside, if Target pushes up through this gap, it really depends on if these setups play out or not. And if they don't, I'll reset and either look for something else or take a break and come back tomorrow.
Sounds good. All righty. So I only got the Uber for me, and we'll see what will be with the MARA. Just waiting for the short on the Nasdaq. This is something that I want to do today if we'll get it. And I guess we can close this session. We had a great 3 days from Monday till today, and we'll be back next Monday. Thanks so much, guys.
My status, Michael.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm up. I had 5 winners and 1 small loss.
Nice.
Still going. So let's see.
All on Tesla?
We'll end up. So all my trades were on Tesla. Yeah. Perfect. Actually, because I didn't see any opportunity on the other tickers I trade. So yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Nicely done.
Thanks so much, guys.
Okay,
Yes,
everybody.
guys.
We'll see you next Monday.
See you next Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you next Monday.
Bye now.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.